68% of households have pets. Of those, 90 million are dogs. This is important to you because the total number of trained dogs is only 1.5 million. Trained dogs meaning AKC, good canine, canine good citizen, ADA, that's the American Disability Association, service dogs, and DVG, which is the German Association for Working Dogs Club, certified dogs. I'm Adrian Neal, and an introduction to communication student. Today I'm going to talk to you about my service work at the Arkansas Schutzen Club. I'll talk to you about the club, the people, and the awesome task I had. Then I'll discuss communication principles and concepts connected to my service work. Furthermore, I'll talk to you about concepts and ethical implications that I feel will help improve my community. And finally, I'll conclude with a summary. In preview, I'll talk about the Arkansas Schutzen Club, communication principles connected with my service and my service experience, my thoughts on how I can improve in my communication and thus my community, and then I'll close out things with a summary conclusion. Now let's talk about the Schutzen Club. I've completed the service at the Arkansas Schutzen Club. Schutzen means protection dog in German. Originally, it was a test to see the worthiness of the breeding of a dog, whether its temperament or its courage is correct with the line you want to move forward. It helps determine the ability for the dog to work and also how you can correct the behavior in case you want to improve it. The mission, according to the website, is to work hard together to achieve training goals, strengthen the bond between the dog and the handler, and to have fun. The story of my service work is pretty exciting. People were coming from all over the place. Like 10 hours away, they were driving, no problem. They loved it there. They had puppies, they had big dogs, they had old dogs, they had, not all German Shepherds, which is my favorite dog, but they definitely had some amazing animals there and some really good trained handlers. Some guys with 7 or 8 different titles and just puppies that just, just looking around. It's really fun. The club itself, you can see, is located by the airport. It's on 70 acres of land. We use 20.5 acres just for tracking alone. And advanced people can, the advanced dog handlers, they can track for 2 miles, very precision tracking. The actual training place where I was helping is about the size of a soccer field, and we do various things with the dog there. There's 6 hides where the dog will be tested. My task is called helper. And I know you think, what's exciting about helping? Well, it's not helping carry water, and it certainly wasn't helping old ladies find their seats. I put on my scratch resistant suit, grabbed my arm pad and my whip, and I calmly stepped out into the field. There I taught the dogs how to focus on what the trainer was trying to teach them, which was to listen to the handler when the handler caps them or engages them, and I was teaching them how to bite calmly. I know you're thinking, like, what's bite calmly? Don't shake, just grab. Grab with the back molars, pull hard, bite hard, using all the strength they have. They're very powerful animals, and when trained right, they could subdue just about anything coming your way. Now let's talk about, sorry about that.
You look different without your glasses.
I know, right? So, now let's talk about the concepts of communication. The concepts of communication that I thought was most related to this was organizational structure, culture. The definition, according to communication in the real world, is a relatively stable shared set of rules about how to behave and and the set of values about what is important. That was key because everyone literally knew the rules. They came from miles around, never read a book, everybody knew the rules. It was a cultural rule. You're quiet when the dog's training, you cheer, you do this, you do that. People stood up to get to the crowds for the obedience portion. Everything almost without, a strict guideline or somebody hollering around what to do. It's very good, organizational culture. Also, an example of a concept is task-oriented listening. Task-oriented listening is when, as defined by the communication in the real world, is listening style that primarily concerns with accomplishing the task at hand. For example, when the trainer is teaching the handlers how to heel the dog, all dogs can heel. So every handler was listening very intently to how to get the dog to heel. That's task-oriented listening. 6-minute mark, thank you. Let's moving on. One concept, we'll talk about the concepts now. One concept I could use to improve my communication would be the message. Messages are adapted in different ways to achieve similar results. I want the definition of that, according to the Survival Guide, is communicators are able to adapt one message to connect with a variety of different people. Also, we cannot communicate the same message in the exact same way again, because we are constantly changing by our experiences. That's so accurate. If I was to teach someone how to heel their dog and the dog moves, it does something different, every time I teach somebody else to heel a dog, I'm going to keep in mind that a different dog did a different thing. And I'm going to continuously be able to encompass a different type of engagement to that person to get the same result. I can use this concept to include by learning different ways to bring about the same effect I want. An ethical implication I could use to improve my community would be trustworthiness. Trustworthiness, defined by the Survival Guide, is a degree to which the accuracy of our ideas and shared information can be used by others to make decisions, maintaining trust needed for a healthy community. I chose this because without the trustworthiness that the trainers and the helper have for the handlers and the dog, you're not going to be able to train them. And well, again, that's very important because the dogs need to get trained, and also the handlers need the training also. You might think only dogs, the handlers need the training. The commands, the stance, the inflection of voice, all these things. In closing, today I spoke about my service experience with Arkansas Schützenklub. I told you about the people, the club, and my awesome past. Then I spoke about communication concepts, and I felt they connected with my service. And finally, I told you about the communication concepts I could improve and how that would eventually improve my community. Right now, there's only 1.5 million trained dogs out of 90 million in the United States. Wouldn't that be awesome if all those dogs, or at least half those dogs, could be trained?